If you're new here, my name is Lanre. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'd like to talk about the things that have helped me in my journey through grief. First thing I'd like to say is that grief never leaves us. We learn to live with it. We get stronger each day as we live with it, but it never leaves us. It's now a part of our existence. It's part of our lives. It's now a friend, if you like. It's now an emotion that we recognize. It's a wave that we are now riding. And till we leave this earth, we will always live with grief. I just wanted to say that firstly. One of the things that's helped me in my last video, I spoke about the first time I tried to go out for a run after um, the loss of my mother. My mother died 8 months ago. And the first time I went out for a run was so difficult. It was so difficult. I had to stop the run. I had to stop. I couldn't continue just because running just brought up all these emotions. And I think movement is one of the things that really help us to for grief to move through us, for us to deal with the emotion that comes up with grieving and loss. Movement, if all you can manage is a walk in the park, if all you can manage is a 5 minute walk, if all you can manage is a step out of your door to look out, taking some fresh air, look out into the sun and come back in, if all you can manage is a stretch, if all you can manage is a swim or a dip in the pool, if that's all you can manage, as long as you keep moving, I think it's important to move. Movement is my first thing I would recommend, and it's helped me a lot. The next thing is rest. I'm looking down because I've got a note here. Rest is highly important, and I think isn't spoken about enough. Grieving is brutal. It's emotionally draining. It's how would I describe it? It's like it feels like you've been hit by a car, by a ship, by a huge wave that you're finding difficult to find your bearing. So rest, I think, is one of the ways of getting your strength back. It helps you to renew your strength. It helps you to have a clearer mind, clearer perspective about what's going on. If all you can manage is a nap in between sleeps, do that. Especially the first few days after your loved one passes away. Sometimes you might need help. For us, we somebody went to the pharmacy to get sleeping pills for us because you just find it you can't sleep. You've got headaches from crying, and yeah, you find it difficult to sleep. So sometimes you might need help, and that's okay. If you need help, speak to your doctor, send somebody to the pharmacy, speak to somebody, but you need to sleep. You need to rest. You need to sleep because the last thing you want to do is get sick physically, because you're already sick emotionally from the grieving that you're going through. So the last thing you need is then to be physically sick and then be in hospital, especially if you're responsible for all the plannings and, you know, even if you're not the eldest child or whatever, the last thing you need is you don't want to be physically sick and then you have to go into hospital. So try and rest if you can. And if all you can manage is little naps, do that. Lay down, rest. Rest is important. Eat well. Another thing you find difficult to do is eating, especially after the first few days, first few weeks. It's like you've lost your appetite. What grief takes away from you is your zest for life. But what you need to do is to slowly start trying to heal yourself, trying to get stronger. And one of the things you can do is make sure you eat well, hydrate, drink water. If you've got comfort food, sometimes that's what you go to, and that's fine. Go to it, eat, eat, eat well. Your vegetables and the good food, the food that are good for you. And if if what you can manage is a bar of chocolate, please listen, eat it. Don't feel bad about eating. Please eat, because that's how you get your strength back. That's how you get stronger. Thankfully for most people, there are you have people around who are like helping you and making sure you eat and making sure there's food in the house. And um, at least in most of our cultures, that happens. If you are not from a culture like that, or if you're alone, sometimes that happens as well. Try and access food as much as you can, and try and eat. And I do, like I said, I do understand that for some people that's not possible, but if you can, try and eat. Don't feel like you have to rush back into how life was before your loved one passed. Don't feel the rush to get back to normal. When my dad died 15 years ago, I did that. I went back into like work mode, and yeah, you have to get back to work. I have to get back to work. And I was saying that, and just so that I couldn't feel. And that's not a good thing. That feeling that you're suppressing will rear its head at some point, will bubble up to the surface. So you need to take a step back if you can. One of the things that is to our detriment living in the West is some of the rituals from our cultures have been lost, in that if you don't work, you don't live. Like who's going to pay your bills if you don't work? So we have to rush back to work. And that is a sad state of affairs, if you ask me. I thankfully was in a position to be able to take a step back, to take some time off. I run a small business online of skincare business, and since my mom passed in February, I've just shut everything down. And I understand that for some people, that's not an option. I had to do that. I had to like take a step back. Taking a step back helps you to reevaluate what it is that you spend your time on. One of the things that grief and loss of a loved one comes to teach us is that we have to live. We now understand viscerally, we understand personally how short life is. So you take a step back and um, ask yourself, what is it that you're doing that you no longer need to do? Do I need to do that? Do I need to run this business? Do I really need that? Is this really important? Grieving the loss of a loved one helps you to reevaluate that. So you need space to be able to do that. And if you're one of the lucky ones, please take the time to step back. Don't feel the need to rush back into living life as normal. Because, yes, grief tells you, reminds you how short life is. But on the other side of that, you may feel the pressure to be like, oh, I need to get everything done now because life is short. I actually had that feeling. And the first few weeks after mom passed, I was like, oh my God, the things I needed to do the kitchen, and I've been postponing and been sitting on it. I need to do it now, and I need to get it done. I'm glad I did that. But at some point, you need to take a step back and reevaluate. And rushing back into living life as normal isn't necessarily going to help you do that. And that leads me to my final point. If you feel the need to talk to somebody, actually, you do need to talk to someone. And therapy is one of the ways that helps you do that. Depending on the country you live in, I live in the UK. If you live in the UK, the NHS, if you go to your GP, they can offer you a referral to a grief therapist, even if it's for a few weeks. Speak to somebody. You need a different perspective, help you look at the emotions that are coming up, and help you understand what's going on with you with grief, and why you feel the way you feel, and whatever emotion comes up, anger, fear, joy, whatever it is that's coming up, regret, whatever. You need to speak to someone to help you process those emotions. And sometimes just speaking to your loved one isn't enough. That's also good. Talking to your siblings, or talking to your friends, or a partner if you've got one, that's good. But also talking to a professional can be helpful. One thing I would like to bring up is living. You know, we have to live. Today I'm here, you're here, and one day we will no longer be here. So we have to continue living. Our loved ones will want that for us, to So yeah, I hope this video has been helpful for you. I hope you find it encouraging. I hope you find some points in there that's going to help you with your journey with grief. Share in the comments if there's anything else that you want to share with me, with other people, anything that's helped you on your journey with grief. Please share in the comments. And yes, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.